In the control room of the second warship wreckage, Song Kai was now completely certain that this ancient warship belonged to the Triad race of the Overlord-level civilization. With this confirmed, his expectations had grown even stronger. Not to mention the surrounding 10,000-meter warships, but there must be extraordinary treasures within that supergiant ancient warship afar. After all, it was the flagship of a high-level fleet of an Overlord-level civilization. However, that was a matter for later. The real disappointment was the second 10,000-meter warship wreckage, which only contained 2 purple relics that Kang Chong couldn't use. They could only be exchanged with the family later on. Outside the wreckage of the warships, only 3 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines remained standing guard. With the help of the fixed-point launch pad, the exploration time for the wreckage was greatly reduced. However, how to send the 2 purple relics back inside the spatial wormholes was a difficult problem. Ahead, Cher, pushing forward a large group of asteroid belt creatures, was still over 50,000 meters away from the wreckage. Even with the 3 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines carefully advancing and both sides exerting force, this 50,000 meters distance was certainly not something that could be explored in a short period of time. For both parties to converge, at least more than 100,000 lives of asteroid belt creatures would need to be sacrificed, plus over half a year of progression time, which was obviously unacceptable to Song Kai. He had already stayed in this area for nearly a month, and in a little over 30 days, he would need to use the Ruins Market's spatial anchor point to return to Dragonspine Continent. Being out of sight for more than 2 months, his parents would inevitably worry, and he also needed to rush back to prepare for the subsequent operation at Copper Mountain Continent. With this in mind, Song Kai felt a bit of a headache. 1 month. This time was really not enough. He must think of another method. It looks like after I return home this time, I really need to inquire about the self-recalling components. Without them, things are really too troublesome. As he was thinking, Song Chi's eyes suddenly flashed with brilliance, and a new idea emerged in his heart. Cher, bring everyone back. While calling Cher back using the Bridge of the Mind feature, a flicker of light flashed on his forehead, and a token emitting a silvery glow flew out. Indeed, the sneaky method that Song Kai thought of was directly related to the Ruins Market walking token. His idea was very simple. If the outer starry void was filled with dangers, could the Zhu Tian Ruins Market, which resides on the dark side of the Starry Sea and can summon the owner out of thin air, eliminate the most time-consuming advancement stage? For example, have a second-rank creature carry the Ruins Market walking token, deploy it close to the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines, and once the figurines obtain the strange object, enter the market directly with the Ruins Market walking token. This was the idea that had just emerged in Song Chi's mind, which theoretically held quite a bit of feasibility. After all, the Ruins Market walking token was meant to transport creatures instantly into the market, and even if it triggered spatial turbulence or resonance along the way, by the time spatial cracks spread, the transporter would have already entered the market, without any worry about subsequent issues. If this were indeed possible, he could use the Zhu Tian Ruins Market as a transit to swiftly get the treasures from the warship wreckage into his hands right after the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines acquired them. Song Kai was not one to hesitate and dither. Having found a high viability method, he naturally set about it without delay. After calling Cher back, he cancelled its enslavement and temporarily sealed it with Zhao Lei and Tuogu Hong in the market. Then he casually contracted a second-rank asteroid belt creature. This series of operations wasn't finished yet. Song Kai then handed the Ruins Market walking token over to the second-rank asteroid belt creature. Hours passed, and the fixed-point launch pad, now buffered and ready, was activated once again. However, before the glow could emerge, Song Kai vanished first. As the second-rank asteroid belt creature placed on the fixed-point launch pad was deployed, Song Kai in the market was also fully sensing the other. As Song Kai feared, just as it was deployed, although the drop point selected was near the 3 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines, the second-rank asteroid belt creature was immediately engulfed by the spreading spatial cracks. The moment the mental link with the other broke completely, without a second thought, Song Kai swiftly retrieved the Ruins Market walking token he carried with him. The reason for his urgent entry into the market was the fear that the explosion of the spatial crack or traces of law would directly destroy the Ruins Market walking token. According to the previous Ruins Market guest token, there were probably only 10 of these Ruins Market walking tokens. He was not willing to spend one just to obtain 2 purple relics. The token, glowing with brilliance in his hand, returned to his possession. Seeing this, the last trace of worry in Song Qi's heart was completely eliminated, and he could continue his testing without any concerns. 2 days later, after several tests, Song Kai finally sent a second-rank creature from the asteroid belt to the vicinity of 3 inert Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. Upon his command, this second-rank creature, resembling a monkey, took 2 purple relics from the hands of the middle Void Assassin Clan soldier figurine and then activated the Ruins Market walking token. It carried with an outburst of energy from within its body. Accompanied by a violent spatial fluctuation, a multitude of traces of law and spatial fissures in the vicinity were triggered, causing the area near the warship wreckage to explode in chaos, swiftly engulfing the 3 inert Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. Song Kai did not care about what followed. His figure disappeared once more within the Kang Chong, and he hurried to the inn on the 3rd level of the Ruins Market, eager to see if the second-rank creature had successfully brought the 2 relics into the market. The answer was quite obvious. If the attempt had failed, the connection with that second-rank creature would have already been completely severed from the depths of his heart. At the inn's 3rd level, Song Kai collected the 2 purple relics into his ancestral torch and then promptly left the Ruins Market without concerning himself with anything else, embarking once again on his subsequent exploration plans. Having confirmed the effectiveness of this brand new strategy, Song Kai halted the operations at the humanoid alien race's side. He no longer needed to use those humanoids as cannon fodder for pathfinding. Relying on soldier figurines, launch pads, brainwave control, and Ruins Market walking tokens, he was able to explore one warship wreckage after another in a short amount of time. Regrettably, despite several days of continuous exploration, he had investigated 3 ancient warship wrecks but still had not found any orange oddities, only 4 purple quality items, one of which could not be converted into a ship component. Today, 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines once again set foot on a newly discovered warship wreckage. The moment Song Kai opened the main control room door, the bright orange glow inside caught his entire attention. After so many days, an orange glory quality strange object had finally appeared, to Song Qi's great surprise. If this orange oddity was suitable, it would be enough for him to exchange for that orange quality light energy aggregation engine, and with a little more effort, even the orange quality fire source up rank wasn't out of the question. In the 5th Market walking room, the second-rank creature from the asteroid belt handed him the item, and despite having already seen its attributes, Song Kai was still extremely excited. Strange object name: Cobalt Shell Main Ship Cannon. Quality: Orange. Convertible. External cobalt piercing bullet launcher. Remark: a type of high-level ship cannon from the Triad race starship, which has evolved into a special relic over the long years. External cobalt piercing bullet launcher LV0 quality: Orange. Feature: Armor piercing plus 300 feature 2, might enhancement 100%. Consumption: 2000, shot shell count, 0 halves might, 57 charge, 30s. No buffering required up rank requirement. 10 strands of floating land origin, 0 rank, 1000 spectral energy points, cobalt ore 10 kilograms. Without a doubt, the component that this orange oddity could transform into, an external cobalt piercing bullet launcher, is definitely an attack weapon of top rank. Although it's just an external launcher capable of mounting only 2 cobalt bullets at a time, it cannot fire indefinitely like the main and secondary cannons do. After every launch, new bullets must be manually reloaded. Also, as an external launcher, it can't be loaded from inside the warship, so in a single battle, it would generally be limited to firing just 2 shells. Yet, its value cannot be denied. Without mentioning anything else, Just the addition of the armor-piercing feature alone is enough to call it top rank. Features like armor piercing, shield breaking, and binding are extremely rare. Possessing any one of these features would be enough to classify it as a top-rank component. The thing is, another feature this launcher has is damage increase. It starts at LV0, increasing damage by 2 times, and only gets more exaggerated with further enhancements. Combined with the armor break feature, a single hit from this launcher could inflict damage comparable to a major skill attack. In his excitement, Song Kai was somewhat torn. If he were to transform the external cobalt-piercing bullet launcher, then clearly, he wouldn't sell it, but keep it for the use of the Kang Chong. In doing so, however, he would still be quite short of the 90 golden merit points he needed, not to mention the Orange Ascension fire source. A long road lies ahead. Muttering to himself, he entered the ruins market and acquired enough cobalt ore from a mineral resources shop before fitting the external cobalt-piercing bullet launcher onto the Kang Chong. Spending 690 strands of second-rank floating land origin, 120 titanium crystals, along with various zero-rank and first-rank floating land origins, he enhanced the launcher to LV30. External cobalt-piercing bullet launcher LV30 quality, orange. Feature. Armor piercing plus 3000 feature 2, might increase 400%. Consumption. 10,000 per shot load capacity. 2 halves might. 1,425,000. Charge. 15's no buffering required up rank requirement. 20 strands of floating land origin, 3rd rank, 40,000 spectral energy points, 10 tons of cobalt ore, 32 titanium crystals. Needless to say, the attributes of an external cobalt-piercing bullet launcher enhanced to 3rd rank are astonishing, and it can certainly serve as a powerful trump card. Furthermore, its energy consumption is per shot, not continuous, which doesn't affect the current, shadow capture antimatter over state engine in the slightest, or else Song Kai wouldn't have enhanced it all the way to LV30 in one go. After enhancing this remarkable external launcher, Song Chi's gaze returned to the space beyond the wormhole. However, it didn't last long as his thoughts quickly shifted, and he deactivated the summoning of the remaining 3 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. With the exploration of 1 warship wreckage completed, he only needed to wait for the fixed-point launch pad and the brainwave remote control system to finish buffering before he could embark on the next exploration. And so, time swiftly passed, and before he realized it, another month had gone by. In the meantime, he had opened another ruins market trade. The gains were still not big, securing only 2 purple relics. However, including the several purple relics obtained from the exploration of the new ancient warship wrecks over the past month, he now had a total of 15 purple relics that could be transformed into purple ship-mounted components. All in all, they could roughly be converted to over 60 golden merit points. Added to what was left in his personal account, he had enough to exchange for the light energy aggregation engine. Song Kai was very happy about this. In 2 months' time, he had secured 15 purple ship-mounted components, plus 7 purple relics that couldn't be transformed. He'd put up in the Oddity Exchange shop, and to top it off, an orange-quality external launcher. This couldn't simply be described as a great haul. For an ordinary torch ship captain, it would be an opportunity of a lifetime, rarely encountered even once. Still, after a brief moment of joy, Song Kai quickly calmed his spirit. The thought of the supergiant warship he had yet to set foot on instantly made his current gains seem less appealing, and he felt an itch to explore. Merely the astonishing haul from those 10,000-meter-long warships. What about the flagship that was clearly several classes above? What rare resources could it hold? Orange oddities? Or even red curios? Or perhaps something beyond a red epic, like silver? With those thoughts, Song Chi's heart burned with eagerness. Should I try deploying near that supergiant warship? It would be false to say that he wasn't tempted. The space beacon emitter had finished buffering, allowing him to place a new space beacon in this star domain. This also meant that he didn't have much time left. Within the next 2 or 3 days, he had to return to the Dragonspine continent or he would miss the Copper Mountain floating land operation. Truth be told, he wasn't very eager to participate in the operation. After all, it involved a 4th-rank level Starry Sky behemoth, which was not without its dangers. He would rather slowly develop and explore this stellar battlefield. But since his grandfather and great-uncle had decided, and they seemed to want him to join as well, Song Kai had no choice but to abide by their wishes despite some resistance in his heart. After some thought, Song Kai decided to make use of the remaining few days to explore the supergiant ancient warship preliminarily. Besides satisfying his own curiosity, it was also to get an early understanding of the situation on that warship. Although he didn't know the specific conditions on board, Song Kai was certain of one thing. Compared to the 10,000-meter-long warship wrecks he had explored before, the inside of this ship, as frighteningly long as tens of thousands of kilometers, was sure to be even more dangerous. It wasn't just the denser traces of law, but also a space rift nearly 100,000 meters in diameter next to it, in which Song Kai had already seen the figures of void demons several times over the past month. Therefore, by understanding in advance, he could also make further preparations before his next visit, increasing the success rate of subsequent explorations. Waiting for the fixed-point launch pad and brainwave remote control system to buffer, Song Kai sat down cross-legged with several high-rank soulstones clutched in each hand, beginning to visualize the mythical mech projection imprint blueprint. Both components needed several hours to cool down, so naturally he wouldn't waste this time. He had been doing the same routine for the past month, either entering the ruins market to cultivate the guidance technique or visualizing, while exploring, the progress of both his guidance technique and spiritual force were steadily improving. Several hours later, coming out of the visualization state, Song Chi's expression was grave as he approached the fixed-point launch pad. At the same time, he waved his hand, and 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines were summoned. After applying the brainwave beacon, each of them stepped onto the launch pad in turn. Taking a deep breath, Song Kai thought to himself. Hopefully, it will be a good start. Thinking this, a flash of light passed before his eyes, and the 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines disappeared from the launch pad. Millions of kilometers away, on the outer side of a super-gigantic ancient warship, accompanied by a slight spatial fluctuation, the 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines emerged from the void. Inside the Kang Chong, Song Chi's mind sank into his deep consciousness, focusing all his attention on the brainwave beacon. Yet, even as focused as he was suddenly startled at the moment the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines completed the launch. This had nothing to do with spatial tremors, rift resonance, or traces of law. What puzzled Song Kai was the current change in the 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. Crack, crack, crack. A series of crisp sounds emanated from their puppet bodies, not the slicing noise of the space rift, but the terrifying might from the surrounding starry sky. This pressure was indescribable for Song Kai. It was not just a mental oppression on the level of illusion, but rather a nearly physical squeezing, as if a small mountain were pressing down on one's shoulders, giving a feeling of extreme difficulty in taking any step. Even calling it a small mountain was an understatement, considering that although the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines were thinly armored, they were all pseudo-third-rank machines at level 30, and the strength of their puppet bodies was not something any ordinary life form could compare to. And at this moment, they seemed to be barely able to withstand the surrounding might, which shows just how extreme the pressure around them was. So to say that there was a small mountain pressing down on them was still an understatement for Song Kai. Hum, hum, hum. Before his attention could shift from the extraordinary pressure around them, a faint humming sound suddenly arose, and without waiting for the 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines to react, they were completely engulfed by a suddenly erupting traces of law. From the depths of his mind, the view in front of him went pitch black, and his vision returned to his primary perspective. The thread of brainwave attached to the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines had indeed been completely annihilated by the terrifying power of laws. In the Kang Chong main control room, Song Chi's forehead involuntarily broke out in cold sweat. He felt some empathy for the situation of the 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. If it were him, he would equally be unable to react in time, and the same would apply to communicating with the ruins market. After all, it takes time to enter the market, and the law trace that had just erupted was almost instantaneous, leaving no chance for any response. Moreover, he had an intuition that the law trace that had just erupted, whether in terms of its might, stealthiness, or speed of eruption, was far superior to those around the Tri-Eye race warships measuring tens of thousands of meters he had encountered before. It wasn't even on the same level. Although the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines were equally powerless and directly swallowed up once the 2 different traces of law erupted, intuition told Song Kai that there was a great gap between them. However, he could understand, or had prepared himself mentally. After all, it was the flagship of a high fleet of an overlord-level civilization, and a vessel longer than even the Dragonspine sacred mountain of the Song family. Its sinking in this unknown starry sky surely meant it had undergone a fierce battle. Hence, leaving behind some terrifying residual traces of law was only natural. On the contrary, if there weren't any, Song Kai would find it abnormal. Vanishing into Kongchang, the subsequent secondary waiting for the fixed-point launch pad and brainwave remote control system to buffer would take a few hours, and this time he intended to refine his practice of the guidance technique. Another several hours passed, and Song Kai began his second attempt at launching. Of course, he hadn't given up so easily. The more abundant and powerful the traces of law around the wreckage of the warship, the more they indicated the value of the supergigantic Tri-Eye race flagship, and the greater the likelihood of finding something valuable inside. Whoosh! After the flash of light, 4 new Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines disappeared. Minutes later, Song Kai stood up once again, leaving the Kangchong to enter the ruins market, as this second launch attempt also ended in failure. On the 3rd day, after more than 6 consecutive launches, not once had the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines made contact with the supergigantic ancient warship, let alone board it. One last try. Whether it succeeds or not, I will have to return to the Dragonspine continent afterward. In front of the fixed-point launch pad, Song Kai imprinted his brainwave imprint onto the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurine positioned at the center of the platform, and then without any hesitation, he activated the launch pad. Dozens of meters away from the wreckage of the colossal Tri-Eye race flagship, 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines stepped out of the void, without causing any spatial fluctuations or triggering any traces of the laws. This was a safe launch point determined by Song Kai during the previous 6 launches, ensuring the secure landing of the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. Of course, the crisp cracking sounds coming from the 4 figurines were inevitable. After all, the astonishing pressure in the vicinity had persisted for at least tens of thousands of years and would not mysteriously disappear with the arrival of the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. Under the command of the central figurine bearing Song Chi's brainwave imprint, the 4 moved slowly towards the flagship ahead. The first 10 or so meters were fine. Thanks to several previous advancements, a preliminary safe route had been established, significantly reducing the danger. However, with every few meters they advanced, the oppressive force exerted on the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines' bodies grew stronger, slowing down their progress even more. Fortunately, while the pressure was increasing, it had not yet reached a point where the Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines were unable to move. At a distance of 35 meters from the Tri-Eye race flagship hull, the group of 4 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines lost 1, leaving only 3 remaining. At 25 meters away, only 2 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines remained. When the last 2 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines charged into a 10-meter distance, another trace of the laws was triggered, and the one at the front was swallowed up. In the Kangchong's main control room, Song Kai took a breath, and the next second, a fierce glint suddenly appeared in his eyes. At the same time, the energy of spatial power surged around the last Void Assassin Clan soldier figurine, turning into a residual image that charged straight towards a small gap in the Tri-Eye race flagship's hull. Song Kai naturally did not choose the direction of advancement at random. The main objective was to enter directly into the interior of the warship wreckage. Otherwise, what would be the use of getting close to the hull of the warship? Whether it was due to luck or not, this final 7-meter distance did not trigger any further dangers, and the Void Assassin clan soldier figurine charged all the way to the hull of the ship. At this step, he did not hesitate and maneuvered the Void Assassin clan soldier figurine to charge directly through the crevice into the interior of the colossal Tri-Eye race flagship. Boom! His vision whirled, abruptly plunging into darkness, and Song Kai completely lost his connection with the brainwave beacon. This time, it was not caused by triggering a trace of the laws, but by the terrifyingly extreme pressure inside the warship. If the oppression he felt outside the hull before was like a small mountain, then what had weighed upon the Void Assassin clan soldier figurine was an ancient mountain range, instantly reducing the one that entered the ship to a heap of puppet wreckage. Song Chi's brainwave beacon also dissipated entirely, having lost its support. In the Kang Chong's main control room, Song Kai reopened his eyes, motionless as if in a daze. Of course, the reality was not so. It was merely extreme shock, a failure to immediately recover from the experience. His shock stemmed not just from the horrifying pressure inside the warship, but also from the last scene he had witnessed. Earlier, when the Void Assassin clan soldier figurine stepped into the warship, although its puppet body was quickly crushed into pieces, there was a split second of buffer time, and within that brief moment, Song Chi's brainwave imprint caught a glimpse of one corner inside the warship. It seemed that the Void Assassin clan soldier figurine had entered a central corridor, with storerooms on either side. Song Kai did not have time to look at the room on the right, but he managed to scan the one on the left. It appeared to be a chamber similar to a cultivation room, featuring a looped space, and here lied the shocker. In this seemingly ordinary standalone cultivation chamber, Song Kai saw a plant rising in the center, a pure silver tree bearing 2 apple-shaped silver fruits. This tree seemed no more than a few meters tall at first glance, but it gave Song Kai an incredibly strong sense of familiarity. If he was not mistaken, his first impression of the silver tree was that of the silver apple mother tree. But the shock and confusion were just that. The silver apple mother tree, a type of starry space plant, gives birth to fruits called silver apples, which boast the miraculous effect of improving the quality of lower-rank starry sea oddities according to the rank of the mother tree itself. In various starry sea civilizations, it is also known as the silver apple sacred tree. Yet, as a starry space plant, a normal individual would typically reach 3,000 meters, even 10,000 meters in height, so how could one appear in a warship's cultivation room, and only a few meters tall at that? Faced with this puzzle, Song Kai thought of many possibilities and concluded that there were only 2 likely explanations. Either he was wrong, and that was not the silver apple mother tree of the starry space plants at all. Or, that seemingly ordinary cultivation chamber had its own space, similar to a mustard seed that contains a universe, a cave realm like space, and if explained using terms from the shattered starry sea, it was highly probable that the interior of that cultivation chamber was an independent secret realm space. Realizing this, how could Song Kai not be excited? Let aside the silver apples that could specifically enhance the quality of the starship's onboard components, and the starry space plant silver apple mother tree itself, the value of the secret realm carried with the warship was unimaginable. And don't forget, what he saw was merely the tip of the iceberg on that Tri-Eye race supergiant flagship. The length of this Tri-Eye warship stretched a terrifying tens of thousands of kilometers, and in the places he couldn't see, who knew what rare treasures were hidden? Thinking of this, Song Kai felt a strong desire to explore it once more. After a dozen seconds, he shook his head and suppressed the impulse in his heart. Not to mention anything else, just the terrifying pressure inside that warship was a problem he currently found extremely difficult to solve. The puppet bodies of the Void Assassin clan soldier figurines, enhanced with a third-rank body, were instantly crushed upon entering the interior of the warship, suggesting that the level of oppression was definitely beyond a third-rank level. Song Kai speculated that in order to explore the interior of that supergiant warship, he would at least have to wait until the components of the Void Phantom Assassin soldier figure tree were enhanced to level 40 or above. Relying on the current third-rank Void Assassin clan soldier figurines, it was simply impossible to move around normally inside it. Circling around the terms third rank and fourth rank, Song Chi's thoughts whirled rapidly, and from the phrase fourth rank, he suddenly remembered the enslavement medal, the red component. Truly speaking of fourth-rank combat power, the Kongchong currently did possess it. If he activated the enslavement mark, frenzy feature of the enslavement medal, he could grant Sher, Tuoguhong, or one of the Thorned Flying Dragons temporary fourth-rank combat power. With this, exploring the interior space of that warship would likely be enough. However, upon reconsideration, Song Kai dismissed this idea almost immediately. The duration of enslavement mark, frenzy, was extremely limited. Whether it was possible to complete an effective exploration within just a few hours was highly questionable. Secondly, although the cooldown for enslavement mark, frenzy, had completed, it hadn't shown any change in the buffer time over the past year. If used once, he would face another long year of buffer time. It was truly not worth it to wager such a long period of time on an uncertain exploration. Moreover, he was soon to head to the Copper Mountain floating land to hunt the fourth-rank level golden armored giant beast. The enslavement mark, frenzy, was the life-saving card Song Kai had kept for himself, and using it now did not match his original plan. Having made his decision, Song Kai cast another glance at the starry sky outside the spatial wormhole, then no longer lingered. He controlled the Kongchong to change course, heading back to the humanoid alien race's territory. Before his return, he had some matters to discuss with the last remaining half-step fourth-rank humanoid alien race, and he also couldn't set up the space beacon in the shattered space nor inside the wormhole, but rather, he intended to place it within the giant asteroid's core space. In addition, he had to visit Soul Master and Soul 2 as well. In nearly 2 months, the resources they had mined should have already accumulated quite a bit. With Zhao Lei sealed, he would have to go collect them himself. Speaking of Zhao Lei, there were still Zhao Lei, Tuoguhong, and Sher sealed in the ruins market. With the enslavement medal having one Pathfinder mark left, the question of whom to enslave was an issue. Firstly, being sealed in the ruins market for a long period was clearly not feasible, as it might lead to the degradation of their life levels. After some thought, Song Kai temporarily assigned the last Pathfinder mark to the humanoid alien race, Sher. For the upcoming trip to Copper Mountain Continent, if an unexpected situation truly occurred, Sher would be the most suitable candidate for using enslavement mark, frenzy. As for Zhao Lei and Tuoguhong, there was currently no good solution. They could only continue to be sealed. Soul Master and Soul 2 could provide him with a steady stream of profits, and each could bring along a third-rank henchman, so of course, he couldn't let them go. The Thorned Flying Dragon was the same, having been enslaved by Song Kai at a significant cost. As for the half-step fourth-rank humanoid alien race, setting aside its almost fourth-rank strength, the task of guarding this spatial wormhole, and taking control of the territory below, had to be entrusted to it. It could not be given up either. Giant asteroid core space. Shortly after flying out of the wormhole, Song Kai placed a space beacon mark 8,000 meters from the wormhole entrance and then instructed the half-step fourth-rank humanoid alien race for a while. Then he visited the mining areas where Soul Master and Soul 2 were located, successively collecting tens of thousands of tons of resources mined in the past 2 months into the ruins market and storing them in the mineral resource exchange store. Finally, before entering the ruins market, Song Kai ordered the 2 third-rank Soul Spirit clan members to go all out and mine at full capacity. He had already informed the humanoid aliens about them, and even if they encountered each other later on, conflicts wouldn't arise, and they could mine to their heart's content. After arranging all these matters, Song Kai didn't linger any further. He recalled the Kongchong, and his own figure disappeared in the asteroid belt. Dragon Spine Continent, Green Moon Manor. "Boss, little Kai. It's been almost 3 months since he showed up." In the courtyard of Mr. and Mrs. Song Shan, Bai Shuken's face showed worry. Behind her, the kilometer-long sky zither had already taken the place of the mountain, crushing it over the origin eruption eye below. At the side, Song Shan, just having exited the visualization state, tossed aside 2 third-rank soul cores that he'd drained. On the side, though Song Shan hadn't participated in the recent expedition to the Soul Spirit floating land, Song Ming Song had still shared quite a bit of the divine soul-type resources with him. Song Shan shook his head. "Mom, didn't Dad go to the Internal Affairs Hall a few days ago and check? Little Cheese, Torch Life Token, is still as good as new, without any signs of extinguishing or any dimness. Don't overthink it. Go back to the ship and cultivate your guidance technique. Your guidance technique is only at level 28, quite a distance from the sky zither." During the conversation, 3 figures approached from outside the courtyard. It was the smiling couple, Song Chao and his wife, along with the recently returned Song Kai. At this moment, Chen Lixia was clutching her son's arm tightly, as if she feared that letting go would result in another disappearance from him. Regarding this, Song Kai didn't know what to say. Before he departed, he had already informed his parents in advance that this trip might be lengthy, though he hadn't specified exactly how long. After all, he had no idea what might happen next in the asteroid belt. "Grandma, Uncle," outside the courtyard, Song Kai respectfully greeted them. Upon hearing this, Bai Shuken quickly stood up. "Little Kai, it's good that you are back." Behind Bai Shuken, Song Shan, who had also risen, revealed a sigh of relief on his face, though it was quickly concealed again. Nonetheless, the perceptive Song Kai caught it. Clearly, his disappearance during this period had genuinely worried his grandmother and uncle. Soon after, the second uncle and the fourth uncle's families also quickly gathered. Of course, welcoming Song Kai home was only part of the agenda. The primary reason for so many people coming together was to discuss the upcoming joint Copper Mountain floating land operation with the Bai family. Half an hour later, the discussion results were out. They would officially depart in a week, with the specific destination being the Golden Moon Star Zone in the central part of the Golden Lion Star Domain. There were no other special reasons. This Golden Moon Star Zone had previously been confirmed as the rendezvous point by the Old Master and the Bai family. In the basement, with the primary matter of the Copper Mountain floating land operation settled, and under the wide-eyed stares of those around him, Song Kai took out more than a dozen purple components for warship mounts. Having anticipated the unusual gazes from the elders beside him, Song Kai was mentally prepared. After all, even a seasoned third-rank torch captain would be shocked to produce so many purple components all at once, let alone him, who had just advanced to second rank a little over a year ago. The reason he still chose to take them out was after careful consideration and the confirmation that this was the most beneficial approach for both himself and his family. Firstly, if he were to exchange these components directly at the family merit hall, it would surely draw immense attention. Letting the elders exchange some of them first could effectively avoid this issue. Secondly, the components he was offering were also in line with the family's purchasing price, allowing the elders to save some golden merit points, thereby achieving 2 benefits simultaneously. These purple components, some were obtained over the past year from lucky finds in the ruins market, while others were traded through bartering. After thinking it over, Song Kai still did not reveal the existence of the stellar battlefield, or rather, he did not yet have the intention to do so. He estimated that the fragmented star space probably wouldn't last much longer and would soon be completely erased beneath the expanding void rifts, but this was relative to the preceding 10,000, or tens of thousands of years, not to say that it would be devoured by the void immediately. Without saying too much, for at least the next 10 years, there was no need to worry about this problem. Based on this, Song Kai set his own exploration time to 5 years. After 5 years, no matter the progress of his exploration, he would report the matter to his grandfather, or in other words, to the family. Given the current state of the gigantic Tri-Eye race flagship, reporting to the elders would actually be of no use. Explorations of such caliber would require the involvement of a 4th-rank clan elder, or even a 5th-rank ancestor from the family. Before then, Song Kai wanted to attempt the exploration on his own. Reporting it to the family would certainly bring rewards, and they would not be small. Song Kai was clear about this. But he was more aware that, no matter what, the gains would never be as great as what he could achieve through his own exploration. The family would definitely take the lion's share, so this was not about him being selfish, it was simply human nature. Because of this, there was no pressure on Song Kai. In the underground chamber, Song Mingsong and others exchanged glances, their eyes flickering uncertainly, each with their own thoughts. However, no one asked further questions, and they began making their selections one after another. Little Kai, I'll take this purple warship armor. It's worth 4 golden merit points, which I've transferred to you. Little Kai, your uncle's wife won't be polite with you either. I'm also in need of a suitable warship armor. Soon, only 6 of the 13 purple components remained. The rest had been exchanged away by the elders. Dad and Mom also exchanged for 1 each, effectively enhancing the combat power of the flagship further. In exchange, the golden merit points in Song Chi's personal account skyrocketed to 63 points. After leaving Grandpa and Grandma's yard, Song Kai greeted his parents and then summoned the Kang Chong, charging straight to the family merit hall. Confirm that you'll exchange all 6 purple components for golden merit points? On the 59th floor of the merit tower, the clan member in charge of the exchange service asked again with calmness on his face. Seeing that the clan member's calm expression seemed genuine, Song Kai nodded lightly, though a slight joy welled up in his heart. Each floor of the merit tower has a dedicated merit exchange counter. He chose to come to this 59th floor for the exchange in hopes of attracting less attention. Now, it seemed his choice was correct. From the 50th floor and above in the merit tower, one needed at least 20 golden merit points to enter, and generally, those who could take out so many golden merit points were clan members of at least 3rd rank. Under this premise, the items they offered for exchange naturally far surpassed those on the lower floors, so Song Kai taking out 6 purple components at once didn't seem too extravagant here. Of course, this was just about not attracting too much attention on the spot. As for the family's records, there was no escaping them. 6 purple components, totaling 25 golden merit points. Hand over your communication bracelet. After the exchange, his personal account of golden merit points on the quantum communication bracelet reached 88 points. After a brief thrill, Song Chi's eyes narrowed. He was 2 points short of the light energy aggregation engine, and the magma core fire was still 42 points away. After hesitating for a moment, he finally took out the spatial expansion pseudo-realm stone component that he had disassembled but hadn't initially brought out for exchange. But before going through with the exchange, Song Kai first activated his quantum communication bracelet on his wrist. Channel: Green Moon Manor Family Chat. Song Kai. Spatial expansion pseudo-realm stone. Attributes JPG. Does anyone need it? If not, I'm exchanging it with the merit tower. Song Yu. 5th brother, how many purple components did you actually get? I'm so jealous. Zhao Hongxue. Stop embarrassing yourself here. Act furious JPG. Song Yu. As you command, my dear mother. Song Shan. Little Kai, save it for your uncle. Here are 13 golden merit points. I'll make up the other 3 to you later when my hands are a bit less tight. After a lively discussion, in the end, the uncle secured the space expansion component with 16 golden merit points. As for Dad and Mom, Song Kai had already mentioned it to them beforehand, but both indicated they didn't need it. Compared to space expansion components, they currently preferred to spend their limited funds on enhancing the battle and defense capabilities of the flagship. With those 13 points added, his golden merit points officially exceeded 100, but he was still a good deal short of the magma core fire, though enough to exchange for the orange engine. Looking at the 101 golden merit points in his personal account, only 29 points short of 130, Song Kai was tempted to borrow some from his elders, considering a direct exchange for that strand of magma core fire, but after a second thought, he shook his head. He had noticed earlier that his aunt seemed quite interested in the remaining 6 purple components in his hands, but in the end, none of them had spoken up. He was initially puzzled, but now recalling the circumstances and considering that the uncle had only taken out 13 points and still owed him 3, it wasn't hard to deduce that the elders in the family were not exactly flush with funds at the moment. To prepare for the upcoming threat of the 4th rank golden armored giant beast, they had almost all spent their liquid assets recently. Therefore, even if he did ask, it was very likely he wouldn't be able to scrape together nearly 30 golden merit points. Standing in front of the door connecting the 59th floor with the 60th, Song Kai paused. With just over 100 points in golden merit, he met the requirements to ascend to the 60th floor. He was considering going up to see what lay beyond the 60th floor before exchanging for the light energy aggregation engine. Song Kai felt somewhat conflicted and did not head directly to the 60th floor. It was clear that the 101 golden merit points he held were quite inflated, and it would not take long for them to shrink to 11 points. At the moment, walking around the 60th floor seemed like he could not achieve anything else except watching helplessly afterwards. Nevertheless, after much contemplation, he still took a step forward. How could he put it? Consider it broadening his own horizons. The 60th floor of Merit Tower gave off the first impression of being small, even smaller than the over 50 floors that were only tens of square meters each. As a result, fewer items were displayed on this floor. However, although there were few in number, each item was the essence of refinement. The rich orange hue illuminated the entire space, indicating that the 60th floor was already bereft of purple quality strange objects, with only orange quality items or higher on display. By now, Song Kai had a rough idea that from the 60th floor upwards, probably only clan elders of the 4th rank and above would come here frequently. After a simple stroll, Song Kai felt somewhat dazed, as if he were floating. No wonder he was dazed. The items on this floor were too exotic, with more than 20 orange oddities and resources such as law stones, cosmic sand, and space crystals considered some of the top strategic materials. Apart from that, what drew his attention the most was the strange object emanating a red glow placed squarely in the center. Strange object. Origin eyeball of the multi-eyed tribe. Quality. Red. Evolvable. 1. Soul extinguishing pupil light cannon. 2. Mid-range soul wave detector. Notes. A high-rank oddity born from the origin eyeball of a 6th-rank multi-eyed tribe member after tens of thousands of years, possessing multiple uses. This epic treasure could not only be transformed into a super main cannon but also into a scarce red space radar, the value of which was likely even higher than the first red curio he acquired, the enslavement medal. However, as good as this strange object was, the exchange price was exorbitantly high, requiring a full 500 golden merit points, which made Song Kai shake his head. To scrape together 100 golden merit points was already incredibly difficult for him. 500 points? He might as well put that thought aside for the next few years. Unless he gained something tremendous from the forthcoming exploration of the colossal Tri-Eye race flagship. Pulling his attention away from the red curio, Song Kai wanted to see the 61st floor, only to find out it had new requirements for golden merit points. One must possess over 150 points. With no choice, he had to abandon the idea. At a counter on the left side of the 60th floor, Song Kai examined the items placed upon it. Item. Law Stone Effect. Required for enhancement of starship components of 4th rank and above. Can bestow and activate the power of laws on components. Exchange price. 1 golden merit point each. Exchange restriction. Each individual may exchange for a maximum of 5 stones per year. Gazing at the fist-sized stone on the counter, Song Kai was pensive. This object was quite similar to the Earth Attribute Law Crystal that had appeared at the Ruins Market before. Law Stone, Law Crystal. The names even sounded somewhat alike. However, The truth was, although both stemmed from the same source, they were not the same kind of item, and their values had a vast disparity. The Law Stone was an extremely rare resource, even more precious than a titanium crystal, a strategic level resource. Whereas the Law Crystal was the result of some Law Stones being nurtured by specific attribute energies, eroded, and then, after a long period of evolution, became a special oddity of the same attribute. Containing origin laws of a specific attribute, they could assist life entities in comprehending and controlling the power of laws of that attribute. For instance, the Earth Attribute Law Crystal that had appeared before contained the Earth Attribute Law's power, which could help fourth-rank life entities with affinity for the Earth Attribute Law to comprehend it more clearly. However, that particular Earth Attribute Law Crystal was damaged and could no longer assist with comprehension, serving only as a one-time Earth Attribute Law enhancement. Otherwise, Song Kai would have definitely tried his best to acquire it back then. Besides, whether it was a law crystal of any attribute, the lowest quality was orange glory, and intermediate law crystals could even reach red quality, not to mention high-level law crystals. Pulling his thoughts back from the law crystals, Song Qi's attention returned to the Law Stone. He was hesitating whether to exchange for 5 stones as a precaution. Although this item was needed for enhancing warship components to 4th rank and beyond, and he wouldn't need it until his Seed of Torch advanced to purple quality, the purchase limit was clear. If he waited until the Kang Chong could use them to exchange for more, he would have to wait even longer. Thinking over it, he decided to make the exchange for 5 stones. No matter what, he was confident that in the next year or two, he could elevate his Seed of Torch to purple quality, and it never hurt to be prepared. 5 golden merit points were deducted, leaving a balance of 96 points. He did not linger any longer, fearing he could not resist spending points on something else on a whim. On the 59th floor, in front of the counter displaying the Light Energy Aggregation Engine, Song Kai made his choice. Instantly, the golden merit points in his quantum communication bracelet dropped from 96 to 6. Meanwhile, with a thought, a component emitting a purple glow floated out from the miniature warship model in his ancestral aperture. It was the Shadow Capture Antimatter Overstate engine. Without the engine's energy supply, the Kang Chong, although in miniature form but still faintly luminous, plunged into darkness. For the Torch warship, the engine is akin to the human heart. A person might survive without arms or ears, but not without a heart. Similarly, without the energy supply from its engine, a Torch warship is completely rendered powerless. At the foot of Dragon Spine's Sacred Mountain, White Jade Square, Kang Chong, with its dimly glowing light, was docked at a corner of the square. Inside Kang Chong, Song Kai, clutching the Light Energy Aggregation Engine, didn't hesitate to install it into the engine slot. Suddenly, Kang Chong seemed like a youth reborn. After the orange engine was installed, it bloomed with new vitality once again. However, the glow did not last long, it dimmed again shortly. Even if it was an orange engine, after all, it was just level 0 at the moment. Without pondering too much, Song Kai strengthened the component straight to level 30. He spent a total of 690 strands of 2nd rank floating land origin, 120 titanium crystals, and a number of 0 rank and 1st rank floating land origins. Looking at the properties of the Light Energy Aggregation Engine that had been enhanced to level 30, its energy supply astonishingly reached 2,835 per second, nearly double the initial same level Shadow Capture Antimatter Overstate Engine, at 1,512 per second. Additionally, its spectral energy pool also reached a terrifying 100,000 points, fully satisfying the continued enhancement of 2 3rd-rank red components on the warship. With that, Song Kai finally felt completely at ease. He did not intend to immediately return to Green Moon Manor. Instead, his gaze shifted to the Neutron Star Core Armor and Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator. He checked again the quantity of 3rd-rank floating land origin and titanium crystals in his hands. 3rd-rank floating land origin, 1780 strands titanium crystals, 880 pieces. Previously, from those humanoid alien species, aside from obtaining 10 purple relics, he also seized over 100 strands of third-rank floating land origin and 200 titanium crystals. Together with nearly 2 months of twice synthesis from the Spirit Mechanism synthesis platform, and the 100 titanium crystals supplied by Zhou Ping, Song Kai now had nearly 1,800 strands of third-rank floating land origin and almost 900 titanium crystals in hand. Seeing these numbers, he began the enhancement of 2 high-quality components quite confidently and without hesitation. First was the Neutron Star Core Armor. Having spent 540 strands of third-rank floating land origin and 495 titanium crystals, he directly upgraded it to level 39. Neutron Star Core Armor Level 39 Quality. Red. Feature 3. The additional increase in armor's defense value by 158%. Consumption. 770 per second. Spectral energy points. Defense. 2,902,500. No need for charge and buffer up rank requirement. 150 strands of floating land origin. Third rank, 3 strands of floating land origin. Fourth rank. 110,000 spectral energy points. 150 tons of cobalt, 80 titanium crystals, 1 law stone. Note. Has reached the ship's enhancement limit, cannot be further strengthened. Neutron Star Fission. Consumes 48,000 spectral energy points, temporarily transforms the warship into a miniature neutron star form, resisting attacks from the outside world, duration 89 seconds, cooldown 30 hours. The resources expended were beyond imagination. The titanium crystals in Song Chi's hands were reduced by more than half, leaving fewer than 400 pieces. However, the attributes obtained were truly commendable. The defensive value alone had soared from previously just under 800,000 to 2.9 million. The only disappointment was the second feature, Neutron Star Core Pulse, which remained unchanged at repairing 3% of the armor layer every 15 seconds and restoring 3% of the shipborne energy shield value every 30 seconds. It seemed that it required a great rank increase to enhance it further. Not too concerned, Song Kai turned his attention to the Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator component. Just like before, he also strengthened this component directly to level 39, spending a total of 360 titanium crystals and 387 strands of third-rank floating land origin. Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator Level 39 Quality. Orange. Feature. An additional increase in shield value by 124%. Feature 2. The shield's defense value is doubled consumption, 485 per second, spectral energy points. Defense. 640,000 shield value. 1.18 kW. 1.18 kW. Charge. 20s. Post-overload buffer. 30 minutes up rank requirement. 100 threads of third-rank floating land origin. 2 threads of fourth-rank floating land origin. 65,000 spectral energy points. 530 tons of mercury crystal. 60 titanium crystals. 1 law stone. Note. The ship's body has reached its limit and cannot be further enhanced. Compared to the Neutron Star Core Armor component, the attribute enhancement of this Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator is a bit less, but it's still astounding. Just the shield value approaching 12 million alone is already terrifying. And now, with the LV-39 Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator taken into account, the Neutron Star Core Pulse features shield value recovery per second has reached 11,800 points, far exceeding the previous 4,000 points. After a moment of wild joy, Song Kai quickly returned to a bitter expression. With just the enhancement of 2 components, nearly 900 pieces of titanium crystal in his hand were already depleted, leaving only the last 25. It's really spending money like water. He still had 853 threads of third-rank floating land origin left, though more than half were gone. As for the second-rank floating land origin, he still had over 10,000 threads in his hands. With this in mind, Song Kai then upgraded all components on the Kang Chong that didn't require titanium crystals and were still at 0 rank, 1st rank, or 2nd rank to LV30 in one go. Of course, excluding those that could not be upgraded to LV30. Fire Peony Soldier Effigy Tree. Component LV20 Right Pointing Arrow LV29. Blood Soul Stigma. Component LV20 Right Pointing Arrow LV30. Void Escape Orb. Component LV0 Right Pointing Arrow LV20. Properties are not listed one by one, but in reality, there were only 3 components. Others, like the LV25 Brainwave Remote Control System, the LV23 Phantom Thruster, the LV20 Water Molecule Isolation Outer Membrane, all required titanium crystals and therefore weren't enhanced. Even so, the Kang Chong had a significant increase in attributes after this round of enhancement. Name: Kang Chong. Model: Torch, Guardian Class Spectral Warship. Level: LV20. Extra Feature: Spacelock. Basic Components: Blue Torch Hull LV20, Pure Yang Swordbeam Cannon. Orange, LV39, Electromagnetic Ray Cannon. Blue, LV30, Cold Light Heavenly Frost Cannon. Purple, LV30, Neutron Star Core Armor. Red, LV39, Light Energy Aggregation Engine. Orange, LV30, Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator. Orange, LV39, Silver 3 Generation Superwave Magical Energy Detection Radar. Orange, LV30, Spectral Cultivation Room LV0, 911. Additional components: Fire Peony Soldier Figurine Tree, white, LV29. Brainwave Remote Control System, purple, LV25. Abnormal Status Purifier, blue, LV39. Purple River Translocation Device, blue, LV30. Healing Fruit, white, LV29. Fixed Point Launchpad, blue, LV30. Phantom Thruster, purple, LV23. Blood Soul Stigma, blue, LV30. Enslavement Medal, red, LV30. Space Beacon Emitter, blue, LV30. Void Assassin Clan Soldier Figurine Tree, orange, LV30. Void Membrane, blue, LV30. Sonic Silence Field, blue, LV30. Water Molecule Isolation Outer Membrane, purple, LV20. Void Escape Orb, purple, LV20. External Armor Piercing Cobalt Bullet Launcher, orange, LV30, 18/26. Spectral Energy Pool, 100,000 100,000ths. Materials: 40 threads of 4th rank Floating Land Origin, 853 threads of 3rd rank Floating Land Origin, 11,580 threads of 2nd rank Floating Land Origin, 25 titanium crystals. Song Kai was very satisfied with the current attributes of the Kang Chong, but upon seeing the tens of thousands of threads of 2nd rank Floating Land Origin, he rubbed his forehead again. As the combat power of the Kang Chong increased, with the enhancement level of its equipped components climbing, 2nd rank Floating Land Origin gradually became less useful to him. Aside from the monthly synthesis of 1,000 threads into 100 threads of 3rd rank Floating Land Origin, it basically accumulated, to the point that Song Kai could barely stand the sight anymore. I must find a way to convert it into the 3rd rank Floating Land Origin, or even 4th rank, that I now need more urgently, he muttered. This could be seen from the initial, Pure Yang Swordbeam Cannon, as well as today's, Neutron Star Core Armor, and Dark Matter Energy Shield Generator, parts. After enhancement to LV39, if you want to further enhance the level of the components to LV40, besides needing to improve the quality of his own Seed of Torch, you also need parts of the 4th rank Floating Land Origin and a Law Stone to activate the power of laws inherent within the components themselves. After pondering for a while, Song Kai set his sights on the upcoming Ruins market transactions. It seems I'll have to set up my own stall in the future. If the exchange rate of 115 doesn't attract those alien races, then I'll try 116, 117, or even 118 in my personal capacity. Hopefully, this will yield some results. The family merit hall's rate was 120, exchanging 20 threads of second-rank floating land origin for 1 thread of third rank. And the rate he has offered in the Ruins market shop is 115. If an alien race comes forward with 1 thread of third-rank floating land origin, the shop will exchange it for 15 threads of second rank. However, over the past 2 years, this ratio has obviously not satisfied these alien species, so he will have to try raising the rate in the future. There is no choice, otherwise, his second-rank floating land origin will accumulate endlessly, just like 0 rank and first rank, to the point where it will become increasingly difficult to spend. Although he had a plan in mind, Song Kai didn't dwell much on it, as it was all for the next Ruins market trade, and he would deal with the specifics when the time came. Meanwhile, the streamlined hull of the Kang Chong, newly glowing with ghost light, shot up into the sky and soon disappeared into the endless cloud cover over the Dragon Ridge continent sky. Zutian Ruins Market, Free Stall Area. Upon returning to Green Moon Manor, Song Kai entered the Ruins Market without delay. He wasn't in a hurry to use the remaining 3/4 of the 1,500-year-old deep water clam pearls. Although more than 2 months had passed since his life sublimation, his body had not fully recovered. Therefore, practicing the guidance technique normally with his feet firmly on the ground was appropriate, and it wasn't suitable for another rapid increase in strength for the time being. He understood the principle of moderation. In the free stall area, the 120-meter-long Kang Chong was quietly docked. Song Kai leaned against the dark hull, gazing upward through the spectral energy protective light curtain above him, looking out into the silent void beyond the marketplace. After careful consideration, he decided to explore that void space outside. Over a year ago, the idea of hunting void demons had taken root in his heart, and he'd felt the itch to act several times, but one reason or another had always prevented him from taking action. Now, after so much time, the Kang Chong had successfully ascended to an escort ship, and he himself had undergone life sublimation twice, truly becoming a second-rank torch ship captain. It was time to officially embark on this plan that had been on hold for over a year. Now, the Kang Chong, in addition to the spacelock feature granted by the space solidification stones, was also equipped with the special space resistance of the void membrane, and further ensured by the void escape orb, a triple insurance that guaranteed safety. There were 3 reasons for choosing this time to hunt void demons. First, the Kang Chong had just undergone a major enhancement, and Song Kai wanted to test its various capabilities before heading to Copper Mountain Floating Land, also to have a clearer understanding of his own strength. Second, the Dragon Blood Mystic Realm urgently needed high-quality void crystals for rapid upgrades, and he himself was extremely covetous of the divine tempering fruits, to further enhance his spiritual force. Third, void crystals fetched a high price at the family merit hall, especially high-quality ones that could be directly converted into golden merit points. After the previous visit to the 60th floor of the Merit Tower, his fixation on golden merit points was deeply etched in his heart. Therefore, he wanted to try exchanging a large number of void crystals for golden merit points. Turning, he boarded the Kang Chong, but before long, Song Kai quickly emerged from the warship's hatch, having not stayed on board for long. WHRR WHRR WHRR, the engine's humming echoed through the marketplace, and after he stepped off the warship, the hull of the Kang Chong slowly rose, advancing towards the skies. He had only boarded to activate the brainwave remote control system component and to tag himself with a brainwave beacon. Thus, he could remotely control the Kang Chong. Triple insurance was indeed safe enough, but Song Kai wouldn't personally test this so-called security. Instead, using the brainwave beacon for remote control was a safer option. Only after the Kang Chong had made a big circle outside, ensuring it could maintain a stable course through void storms and chaotic void currents, would he board the ship in person to commence the hunt for void demons. Soon, the Kang Chong exited the outer layer of the spectral energy screen of the marketplace and headed towards the depths of the void on the horizon. Inside the marketplace, Song Chi's eyes were tightly closed, his entire spiritual force focused on the Kang Chong above. Half an hour later, his eyebrows suddenly furrowed, After traveling for half an hour, the Kang Chong finally burst out of the relative safety of the Ruins Market's silent zone. It was no surprise that shortly after leaving the silent area, the Kang Chong quickly encountered a void storm 100 meters in diameter. Although the diameter of the void storm seemed small, even smaller than the Kang Chong itself, the fierce void force it carried was beyond imagination. If a regular escort ship were caught in it, it would not only risk being sunk, but overloading the energy shield and suffering significant hull damage would be all but unavoidable. However, Song Kai didn't steer clear. Under his control, the Kang Chong headed straight for it. WHRR WHRR WHRR. Ripples intensely vibrated across the outer layer of the dark matter energy shield as the forces of the void clashed fiercely against the dark matter energy. Energy shield damaged. Shield value minus 1450. Energy shield damaged. Shield value minus 1510. In the main control room, urgent warning sounds blared every second, but to Song Chi's ears, these sounds brought a slight smile to his lips. With the LV-39, dark matter energy shield generator, and the influence of the neutron star core pulse feature, it could recover over 10,000 points of shield value every second. In other words, the current 100-meter scale void storm could not pose a threat to the Kang Chong at all. Sure enough, a new prompt in the following second completely restored any shield value that had just been lost by the dark matter energy shield. Warship damaged. Neutron star core pulse feature activated, commencing dark matter energy shield recovery. Dark matter energy shield value fully restored. Having confirmed this, Song Kai didn't make the Kang Chong linger any longer. Amidst the roar of the engines, the ship quickly escaped the 100-meter void storm and continued onward. In the next 2 hours, Song Kai had the Kang Chong conduct tests on void storms at the 300-meter mark, 500-meter mark, and kilometer mark, respectively. The conclusion was that with the neutron star core pulse feature and the enhancement of triple void resistance, only the kilometer-scale void storms could barely overwhelm the recovery speed of the Kang Chong's dark matter energy shield. Of course, if it was just barely a kilometer-scale storm, or slightly over a kilometer, it wouldn't cause catastrophic damage to the Kang Chong. In fact, the Kang Chong could even stay within one for a short period. As long as it could quickly break free afterward, there would be no risks, and the energy shield could be restored to full capacity within the following 10 minutes. However, once reaching 1,500 meters or a diameter of 2,000 meters, such void storms could pose a great threat to the Kang Chong. Not only would the dark matter energy shield not withstand it, but once caught in one, it would be difficult to break free from the storm's gravitational field promptly, given the current power of the light energy aggregation engine. So, in summary, void storms under 1,500 meters posed no problems, while those above 1,500 meters should be avoided if possible. After completing this test, the Kang Chong took over an hour to return to the Ruins Market. Song Kai didn't act immediately. He had to wait for the brainwave remote control system component to cool down. After several hours of cultivation in the All Attributes cultivation room, once the brainwave remote control system component finished buffering, the Kang Chong once again set off from the Ruins Market. Far from the Zhu Tian Ruins Market, the Kang Chong was swiftly navigating through the darker side of the Starry Sea, which seemed even more desolate and equally more dangerous. Moreover, it extended endlessly, as if there were no bounds. Having left the Ruins Market for several hours, Song Kai, controlling the Kang Chong, had traveled millions of kilometers. Still, the projection screen had not shown other colors from start to finish, blackness being the eternal main theme. And there was another critical point. The Silver 3 generation ultra-wave magic energy detection radar was significantly constrained in this dark void, with a current detection range of merely 100,000 kilometers on the radar screen, reduced countless times from the usual. This fact also drastically reduced the efficiency of searching for void demons. However, Song Kai wasn't in a hurry. He continued to traverse this dark void at a steady pace, aware of this for some time and one of the reasons he hadn't attempted to hunt void demons for so long. This mission was an attempt before heading to the Copper Mountain continent. Success would be great, but he couldn't force it if luck was not on his side. Safety remained the top priority. While musing, a prompt suddenly appeared on the radar screen. Song Kai glanced at it and a smile spread across his face. What appeared on the radar was a squad of void demons. The number wasn't large, only a little over 100. But their strength was quite good, with 10 being second rank and the rest first rank. If killed, that would yield 10 strands of third rank floating land origin and over 100 strands of second rank. You are the targets. Simultaneously, the Kang Chong pivoted its hull and charged toward the position of the Void Demon squad. In the dark void, under the effects of both Sonic Silence Field and Void Membrane, the Kang Chong was like a ghost, quietly hovering not far from the squad of Void Demons, yet the Void Demons 100,000 meters away noticed nothing. In the main control room, seeing the Silver 3 generation ultra-wave magic energy detection radar, not detecting any other Void Demon life energy fluctuations within 100,000 kilometers, Song Kai didn't hesitate to open the hatch. The next second, 30 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines surged out, led by one affixed with the brainwave beacon, straight toward the distant group of Void Demons. After the 30 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines had covered some distance, the Kang Chong followed with its artillery fire. Boom, boom, boom. One main cannon and 2 secondary cannons, all third rank, combined with the fact that Void Demons, like the Void Assassin Clan, are creatures with high attack power and low health, decimated most of the enemy squad before the 30 Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines could get close. And the remaining ones were soon completely wiped out by the arriving Void Assassin Clan soldier figurines. All this happened in just a few short minutes. Less than 5 minutes, 10 strands of third-rank floating land origin plus 102 strands of second-rank floating land origin. Money came unbelievably fast. Having tasted the sweetness, the Kang Chong continued to roam the surrounding area. 3 days later, the Kang Chong returned to the ruins market. Song Kai, who disembarked from the warship, had a calm expression, showing none of the joy of a fruitful harvest. In these 3 days, he had hunted less than 1,000 Void Demons, totaling 1 third-rank Void Crystal, 25 second rank, 241st rank, and 560 0 rank. There was no helping it, as searching for these Void Demons was too troublesome. Often for hours on end, not even a trace could be found. The void space was too vast, so vast that even though the number of Void Demons it nurtured was uncountable, they were not necessarily omnipresent. Regarding this, Song Kai had actually thought about deliberately leaving a tracking mark on his opponent, but this would mean dismantling the abnormal status purifier that had been enhanced to LV-39. Besides, there were unpredictable dangers involved. Thinking it over, he still gave up the idea. However, this did not mean that the method was completely excluded. If it couldn't be attempted on the Kang Chong, what about elsewhere? For example, deliberately allowing a Void Assassin Clan soldier figurine to be marked, or one of the enslaved creatures on the Kang Chong. Additionally, aside from this method, one could also use the characteristic of Void Demons being attracted to light or high-intensity energy sources, and so forth. But all this could only be attempted later. For now, he needed to adjust himself properly to reach the best possible state before heading to Copper Mountain continent. 4 days later, above Green Moon Manor, 9 torch warships lined up in a row, suspended silently. 2 were a kilometer long, and the other 7 were 100 meters, the 9 core members of the 10th Direct Vein. Within the warship communication group chat, Song Mingsong's rough voice sounded. "Let's go." As soon as the words were spoken, the 9 warships rose into the sky simultaneously, quickly reaching the clouds and disappearing into the sky in an instant. Below, around Green Moon Lake, countless people had yet to take their eyes off the high-rising buildings. As clan members who had recently joined the 10th Direct Vein, Everyone was aware that these 9 warships represented the majority of their branch's high-end combat power. Song Kai and his party naturally did not know of these subsequent events. They rushed out of Dragonspine Continent and, after a brief transit, arrived successively at the family's short-distance spatial gateway on Dragonspine Continent. The destination of the transmission was, of course, the medium-sized Starry Space Gate transfer station in the southern part of Dingai Star Domain. Since the last transmission was not long ago, the 9 people waited a day and then successfully transmitted to the transfer station in the southern part of Dingai Star Domain. Unlike Dingai Song family's own short-distance spatial gateway, this huge spatial gate transfer station was bustling with people, with more than 6 figures worth of Torch warship trips from all over the dukedom's star domains daily, making the transfer station, with its diameter exceeding several 100,000 kilometers, seem especially busy. Normally, an ordinary Torch ship captain wishing to teleport would not only have to pay a sizable fee but also face a delay of about 10 days, and this waiting period could be extended during peak times. However, this was relative to ordinary Torch ship captains. As members of the Dingai Song family, Song Kai and his companions naturally had certain privileges. In every round of transmission, about 20 slots in all spatial gates were left vacant. These were reserved specifically for clan members who were in a hurry.